Welcome back, students. The first video cut or stopped at where we said government should provide good roads. Okay, let's quickly continue continue from where government is supposed to assist with help, funding our researchers or researchers in the lab. Now, what are those researchers meant to do? They are supposed to come up with better ways of farming. They are supposed to research, the food. Take samples of the food that has been produced, look at them, and think of, is there a better way of improving this crop yield, improving the quality of the seeds or quality of the crops, and so on and so forth. Those are ways that government assist in agricultural production. Now let's quickly look at factors that affect production. Weather and climate. Weather and climate. Climate is different from weather. Climate is the state of the atmosphere over a long period of time, over years and many years. Why weather is just the state of the atmosphere at a particular moment. Now, weather and climate affect production in the sense that there are crops you should plant in rainy season, there are crops you plant in dry season. Okay, for instance, during rainy season, tomatoes becomes more expensive because tomatoes is still out there in the field, and so on and so forth. So the weather determines the crop. Pests and diseases affect crop production in the sense that after planting, if you don't take care of pests, if you don't take care of diseases, they will finish up your plants, and at the end of the day you're going to have a poor harvest. Weeds, of course, same like pests and diseases. Every good farmer knows that after planting, 2 weeks after planting, when you get to the farm, you're going to find weeds that you will need to constantly uproot. Those weeds will take up the space and the nutrients that the good plants are supposed to enjoy. So if you don't remove them, they would affect the growth of your plants. Predators. Who are predators? Predators are animals or things that that preys on other things. Example of predators are the rodents, the rats that comes into your farm to eat up the corn, the birds that come in to eat up, to eat up rice and rice plantations. So you need to, those pests or diseases or predators, they affect crop production. Then the soil type. How fertile is the soil? What is the soil type? Of course, you have to check and be sure that your soil is loamy soil. If you plant on sandy soil or clay soil, you're not going to have a good harvest. So the soil type and how fertile the soil is determines or affects your production. Now, how can we improve on crop yield? Use of improved methods. Remember, I talked about the researchers. They are always coming up with better ways or better method of planting. So we need to, at the beginning of this video, I talked about agricultural associations. So when people belong to those associations, those are the things they discuss better method, better ways of doing things. Planting at the right time. You can't be planting when the rain has stopped, so you need to plant at the right time. There are right time for each type of seed, so we need to check that out. So using resistance strain seeds. What are those type of seeds? Back to our researchers, they come up with better seeds that have been treated in the lab to resist diseases, seeds that have been treated in the lab to resist pests. So if you use them, you're going to be sure of having a good harvest. If you just use ordinary seeds, who knows, they enter into the soil and they even spoil in the soil, they will even grow. So those are those are some of the things we need to do to improve crop yield. Now also disease control, pest control, weed control, these are very important. You need to control them. We've talked about the way they affect our production. So of course, if we control them and control them with the right method, we're going to have what? An improved crop yield. And then of course the use of manure and fertilizers. I hope you know, I also want to believe you know that you know that fertilizers and manure are different. Manure is more natural, fertilizers are more chemical based. You use manure for your soil. You put manure into the soil to increase its fertility or to improve the soil, whereas you use fertilizers on the plants themselves so that the plants can grow better, grow bigger, and you have better harvest or more harvest. All right, thank you. As this video is going on, while you are listening to the video, I'll be putting up what I call reflective questions. They are not, I'm not expecting answers to me. The questions are meant for you to use the questions to listen to the video, so that while you are listening and you are checking those questions, you'll be asking yourself, can I answer the question from the video? Or the answers to these questions, can I pick them from the video? It will help us in our listening skills and help us to listen better. If you have any question, you put it up on the chat group. Of course, I'll still be online watching out for those questions and watching out for any difficulty that you might have. At the end of the video, we'll take up the next topic, or introduce the next topic as time will permit us. Thank you, and God bless us.